you don't have a question now, do you?
It's not really. No, I do. Life is good and getting gooder all the time. I am from the microwave generation. I want my meal in 30 seconds or less, and it better be gourmet, and it better taste good, and it better be all of that.
And that's not serving you at all.
Oh, it's not.
It's not serving you at all, and yet you delivered that memorized pattern with such delight. But don't you want your lyrics to match your music?
Yes.
And what does your music tell you? In other words, what do you really know about that? What do you really know? We know that was clever, and it was funny, and it was delightful, as are you. But that's really dumb.
Okay.
To keep projecting that, to keep presenting that, to activate any of that in any way. Instead, what you want to say is, I am an eternal being who understands the power of my ability to create. And I savor collecting the data, and I put it into the vortex, and I allow the cooperative components to gather, and I am willing to wait for inspiration. Because when I find inspiration, it is so worth it. And so what I am attracting is so big and so magnificent that all impatience has subsided, because I know the value of true, deliberate creation. That's the true music of your being. In other words, that's what you know. That other stuff is nothing more than entertainment. It's not true on any level. You don't even mean it. You could have said that a lot faster, and we would have been slower and easier about our response to you. You could have said, I'm a bit impatient, which is really what you were getting at.
Yeah.
So let's begin again. Hello.
Hi.
We're so happy that you have come. What is it that you are wanting to talk about? Oh, you're impatient, you say? I wanted to make sure that you didn't go off on another toot.
I feel like all of us come up.
Don't drag them into this.
Well, when you come up to the hot seat, you have a question.
Always.
And the question is something like, Abraham, I have resistance about, and then fill in the blank, my business, my love life, my money, my family, and help me around that resistance.
We agree with you.
So I have heard you say, and I started using the word, I actually changed it on my vision board, and it says, I want to live happily ever now, not happily ever, not later. You said, don't do it later, do it now. And
well, that's a really good sentiment, as long as you understand that it's now, forever.
Yeah.
Are you still trying to justify your impatience, or have we moved past that?
I think I'm still impatient because I want it now. I want my happiest, healthiest, most magical, true love relationship, and I want it now. So help me around my resistance of impatience. Please.
There's no hope for you. For a few seminars in California a few years ago, a young woman sat in the hot seat and talked about, as you said, the thing that was bothering her most. She wanted to have a baby and couldn't get pregnant. And the groups were small. A lot of people were coming every time we went there. And so many people in the room came to know her. And each time her desire was strong and she would get in the hot seat, and each time she would express her impatience about this thing that she wanted so much, and each time we would tell her the same old boring thing, which is, when you want something and you're lined up with it, you don't feel like that. When you want something and you're lined up with it, you don't feel impatient, and when the impatience, which is evidence of the resistance, goes away, then what you want can move into your experience. So we had the conversation with her, but she was a bit like you. She couldn't hear it. She just kept saying the same thing that she'd been saying. I want it now, I want it now, I want it now, I want it now, I want it now. But we had a lot of conversations, and she listened to a lot of recordings, and in time she began to relax and enjoy aspects of her life, other aspects of her life. We encouraged her to look at other things that were now that felt good. When there are so many things that are now, that are already now, that you feel good about, why not pick those to focus upon, which doesn't produce impatience, rather than the something that you do want that hasn't happened yet that does produce impatience? In other words, it must mean that how you feel is not very important to you if you keep picking a subject that is aggravating. We really want you to hear that. You're missing the whole point of it if you keep returning to a subject that makes you feel impatient when there are so many subjects that you feel good about that you could use as your reason to focus and to connect with the whole of who you are. We explained to her that what she wanted was already in the vortex, and when she found ways to feel better more of the time, it would come into her experience. And never mind what doctors are saying or what anyone is saying or what statistics are saying. Never mind any of that, because when you ask, it is given. There are no exceptions to that. You just have to find a way to be a vibrational match to what you're asking for.
Can you help me?
Yes, if you'll be patient. We have a lot to say about this. And so here's this vortex, ripe with what you want, but you can't get to it because you're taking score right now, and the score that you're taking is that I'm not getting what I want, and that's what your point of attraction is emanating, and so that's the only thing that can come back. You can't get to where you want to go when you're feeling like you're feeling. You've got to find a way to think thoughts that cause you to feel differently. It's just that simple. You're all hearing it easily, aren't you? And so this woman, in not too much time, maybe 4 or 5 different seminars, which took place over maybe 2 years, came to a seminar with a big smile on her face and announced that she was now pregnant. And the room erupted because everyone was so glad for her. But the point that we wanted to make and did with her, because she had told us all the things that she was eager to do with her baby, wanted to take her baby trick-or-treating, wanted to take her baby to the park, wanted to introduce her baby to the ocean. In other words, there were all of these things. And yet she was still not having that now experience. She was not taking her baby by the hand trick-or-treating, and she was not taking her baby to the ocean yet. The baby was still in the gestation stage. The baby was still in the state of becoming. But so interesting, now she's pregnant, her impatience subsided because now she believes in the coming of the baby. You with us?
But I don't want to be pregnant.
We want you to understand that your vortex is your gestation, that you are pregnant with everything that you want. You're pregnant with everything that you want. And as sure as she was pregnant and did deliver a beautiful baby, which she brought to a subsequent seminar, and by now has trick-or-treated and gone to the ocean and all of those things, in your vortex are all of those things in the process of becoming. And the point that we're making is that she stopped being impatient once the baby was in her vortex womb. We want you to stop being impatient now that what you want is in your vortex womb. You have to accept this as reality. And until you do, you're going to feel impatient about everything that hasn't turned into a thing, which means you're going to slow yourself way down, because when you're looking at what is, then new things can't come. The now, or what is what keeps the improvement from flowing into your experience. You've got to use your ability to focus upon what is in the process of becoming, and to get so good at it that your impatience subsides, or you're not ever going to be the equivalent of the microwave, whatever you said. Does that make sense to you?
It does.
So now do you want to say something to us that lets us know you really did get it?
Yeah. I've been doing some of the processes.
Doesn't matter. Talk to us current now, because what you were doing is irrelevant. We want to hear what you're thinking about it now. So
that it's fun, that life is good, that life is getting gooder, that enjoying every moment.
So are these just words to cover up impatience, or are these words that match what you mean? Do you own that? Do you really mean that? Do you mean that about this thing that matters so much to you, or is that still the exception? Do you mean it's fun to collect the data and I'm looking forward to what's coming? And I know that I've put plenty of data in my vortex, and I believe that the vortex is real, and I trust the process, and I know that the universe is bringing me what I want, and I know that one day, not so far from now, I will be experiencing the fruition of all of that. Do you mean that?
Yes, you
All
just
right.
said it. That was what I wanted. Thank you. Yes, thank you.
All right, well, we would like to hear you say it. We know what we mean. We want to know what you mean.
Believing in the magic, or is it because I'm calling it magic that I have a resistance?
The words don't matter. Esther refers to it. It feels like magic when it all begins flowing. But magic in the sense that it's a freaky thing that randomly happens to some, that's not so good. Or magic in the sense that it's a trick. It would be more stable for you to call it a sure process, that when I ask, it is given, and that if it isn't being given right now, that I have some vibrational tweaking to do. But here's the operative word. Vibrational tweaking is fun. And you see, that's the part that we want to help you get over the hump of that, because you announced to us right up front that the vibrational tweaking, you want no part of that.
Right.
You got to be willing and wanting to do the vibrational tweaking. And we want you to know, when you have a desire and the desire feels improbable because the current reality or the recent reality does not match what you're dreaming about, we want you to feel how delicious it is for that dream to come closer and closer into something that you believe. In other words, every layer of resistance that you let go of is going to give you a feeling of relief, yes, but it's also going to give you a feeling of exhilaration. In other words, something to look forward to, something to be excited about. Looking forward to something and impatience are two very different feelings. Anticipating something wonderful and worrying that it won't happen are two very different feelings. You want to get on the other side of that now, not because you need to do it to create it, but because you want to do it, because you'd rather feel exhilarated than discouraged, because you'd rather feel good. You said things are good and getting gooder. That's really a wonderful way to feel. So if someone says, hey, that thing you've been wanting, did you get it yet? And you say, oh, it's in the process. And they say, what do you mean? Is it shown up? Doesn't matter. It's in the process. What do you mean it's in the process? It's in the process. I'm enjoying the unfolding of this. I'm enjoying my personal evolution as I become a match to what I want. Because if I were to attract this partner before I'm a match to what I really want, this partner will be a match to who I am rather than a match to what I really want. So this is the universe giving me the leeway and the opportunity to become a perfect match to what I really want, so that when this partner shows up, we'll hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Now, doesn't that sound nice?
It sounds wonderful.
Really good. Really good.
So much.
Helpful? Everyone has a version like that of something, don't you?